I feel so lucky because I always meet so many clever and bright people in all the organizations I come. Because I come with the format topic, and then I train the trainer or instructor course or format certification or all that. So I meet so many high skilled and bright people, and then we work with the format model. And it could be interesting to hear what is your experience working with the format model? Which impact has it given to training, for example? What can you use it for? Yeah. I know we have actually been working with format almost the same time. Many years ago we started, and so I know you know a lot about format.
Well, what it can give in an organization, there's a few things. If you're having a larger training department, it gives you first of all a common language.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, we design training the same way.
We design training the same way,
yes,
which is really nice.
Yes.
Because it also means that you can help each other becoming better.
Yes.
And you can see where did it go wrong.
Yes.
And help each other with that as well.
Yes.
So that common language is so important. But of course, any model could do that.
Yeah.
Now, what I like about format is the simplicity of the process.
Yes.
So, format has 8 steps. Most people will use only 4. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they integrate those 8 steps almost naturally.
Yes.
And that works most of the time. But it's still very simple. People can remember it.
Yes.
I mean, it's one circle.
Yes.
And you just can draw it out.
Yes. We need a why, we need a what, we need a how, and we need a what if.
Exactly. And the simplicity of the model is not only that, it's the most powerful thing, it's what we call the natural learning cycle.
Yes.
It's how my brain works.
Yes.
So
brain-friendly learning.
Brain-friendly
yes,
learning,
yes.
Exactly. Independent of your learning styles, we'll come back to that in a bit, it works for everybody.
Yes.
Because it's how our brain is working all the time.
Yes. And it actually just is a framework.
It's just a framework.
It's a sort of recipe, a framework you can use for whatever topic you have.
Exactly.
If it is IT training, if it is leadership training, if it is product training, everything you can put it in this framework.
Can put it everything. And what I also found is that because it's based upon very good old researchers, theories, everything that I've seen over the past 17 years, I can put into a format model.
Yes.
All the new models that are coming out, there's always some nice details. Mm-hmm. In the end, I can always place them in the format model.
Yes.
And that's what I like.
Yes.
Because it means I've got something that simply seems to hold, which is natural because it's a natural learning cycle.
Yes.
And that's really nice. So anybody can use it, anybody can learn it.
Yes.
And that creates something.
Yes.
So we've been using it in organizations globally and implementing it globally, and you can just see how that slowly is getting out there. People start understanding it, and training simply becomes better.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you train like that, you don't have the old-fashioned training where, I'm going to borrow that from you, where most people are just sitting here explaining stuff and quite often doing exercises. But it makes it more interesting. I mean, I work for a company in IT training, and what we've experienced is that people say, wow, this training is so different from what we had before.
Yes.
And it's not so boring.
Yes.
But in the end, they learn.
Actually, it's very good when we have fun, when we learn something, because then we also remember better.
Yeah, I mean, we remember best when we have fun or when something hurts.
Yes.
Now,
and we don't want to hurt our participants, not so much.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. But it is good to have fun.
Yes.
And that's when you learn best. But it's also the variation. Using the model creates the variation.
Yes.
And because you are motivated, you are connecting it to your own world, and then doing exercise how to implement it in your own world, it keeps on living instead of just doing a code or learning a model about how to treat people or the environment or whatever.
Yes.
You need to relate it to people.
Yes. Yes. And we also make sure that when people use the model, they also use what I call feeling and experience, feeling and emotional experiences. And for some people, it's quite difficult to train that when I am an expert in IT or an expert in law or whatever people can be experts in. That is a very perhaps a little bit, I think, boring topic. Then they think it's a little bit challenging to put in all those funny things that actually helps us to learn more. And also using our emotions. So I hear very often that people say, okay, the blue area with the what and the green area, just like you said, they're very easy. We do that as trainers. We also need to have the why, but I think it's so difficult. Some people tell me, why? I just tell them the why, and that doesn't create a good why. They need to do something. And also some people forget the what if. So when you travel the whole circle, we always make sure that people are motivated and they can start and being interested in the training, and they also find out how can we use this in our daily life, so that you make sure that there is some impact.
Exactly.
Return on investment.
Exactly.
People learn something new and they actually use it.
Yeah. I remember once that I was asked to help a department with creating some application training around some products.
Yes.
And of course, training department will help you.
Yes.
And he was talking really about this.
Yes.
And it's like,
What and how? Yes.
they're going to get some homework before they get there. Homework, they don't have time for that. They don't do their homework, they don't get there. That was already part of this here. So the wireframe was not so much done during the training. It was almost done more before the training. So I let them create a SWOT analysis of their own market at home.
Yes.
So
Related to their own life. Yes.
related to their own life,
Yes.
exactly, related to their own life. So you get all the application training, etc. And we ended up, and that's also where he said in the beginning, like, we can't do that. We ended up how to apply this to your own life. So now you went through this training. Now go back to your SWOT.
Yes.
And are there still the same strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, or have things changed because you know more?
Yes.
Things change after training like
Yes.
that. Now if you leave it there, then it's just still a little gap analysis kind of thing.
Mhm.
So start making strategies.
Yes.
How can you use this SWOT?
Yes.
Start making a game plan.
Yes.
So we ended up where they went home with a plan that they could present their manager. They said, next week I'm going to tackle this and this customer.
Yes.
I have these and these
Yes.
sales pitches
Yes.
because I know what I'm doing now.
Yes.
So that was applying it to their own life.
Yes. Very good.
And
Yes.
that training was the best feedback we had on the training, apart from the food, which is always one of the highlights, was that they actually came home with something they could use, and they didn't have to spend time at home in the evenings anymore to think about that.
No. And they actually are working with their preparation to a sales meeting perhaps or anything else in the training. And that's very popular when we work with the tasks they're going to do when they come back.
And
Yes.
it really works. I mean, the other day I had somebody coming to me, he said, well, I talked with my partners and they were on the sales training review, and they asked, could we do a SWOT workshop together with you?
Yeah.
So they came back after the sales training to say,
Yes.
can we do something extra here?
Yes.
Only regarding our strategies.
Yes.
Create a
Wonderful.
business plan.
Yes.
And I don't know anything about sales, I don't know anything about business, but I can facilitate that
Yes.
process.
And that's actually what you did over here, because we need the participants needs to take over. When we go in the model after 6 o'clock, you facilitate like you do the exercises, and in the yellow part they really need to take over, because they're the only one who know how can I implement this in my daily life.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's actually also when some of the trainers I meet, they think it's quite difficult to travel the green and the yellow area because I need to lose the control.
That's true, and it takes us a little bit away of that question regarding the impact but not completely anyway. It's the challenge is to be four different persons when you train.
Yes.
So you got to be quadratic, schizophrenic or something like that.
Yes, it helps sometimes.
Because you really need to be a motivator here,
Yes.
and let them think and
Yeah.
not tell them what to do.
Yes.
You really need to be the trainer here, and you can do that in different ways. You don't have to come with just facts and figures and bullet
No.
points. You can do that in a different way. You can let them read and then present something.
Yeah.
So you start combining these two actually. And then here you start slowly letting go.
Yes.
And some people find that difficult because
Yes.
they like to take people by the hand.
Yes.
And what if they don't like me? I always say they don't have to like me. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to create learning.
That's right. Yes.
And it sometimes hurts when you come home and you know, oh, they've been struggling. It's all right. Tomorrow I'll
Yes.
get them up again.
Yes.
I'll help them because I am there. I will
Yes.
take them out of the deep
Yes.
if they fall.
Yes.
And here it's really about listening to their brilliant ideas and kind of being the consultant to help them further and
Yes.
sharpening the
Yes.
saw.
Yes. Yes. And in the end, when they get the impact, they will actually like you, even though.
They will most likely.
Yes.
Not just because I was thinking of once I had a colleague who wrote me a very, 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 very bad satisfaction survey. And I always say satisfaction and learning is not
That's not the same.
related to each
No,
other.
no.
So, and I knew it. And then 2 weeks later he wrote me, I meant it, but I've never learned so much in my life. And thanks for that. So it is
yes.
true.
Yes, it is true.
And it's difficult.
And it's also because you learn a lot when you struggle. You
Exactly.
struggle because I need to find out how does this work.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. And the model will help us to go through all that. Create the why together with the participants. Giving them some new knowledge as an expert in some topic. Making sure you have exercises and then they will work and adapt to their daily life.